Hey guys, it's Divine here from Merge.com. I'm sure that lately all of you have been hearing people talk about this, or you've talked about it yourself. Pretty much everyone is blaming EOC for RS dying. But is it dying? I suggest you to have a look at this site called 07 Tracker, which tracks the amount of players online among other things. Now looking at this, RS3 is clearly not the reason the amount of players online is dropping. It is the interest in old school RS, and possibly the amount of bots getting banned on there, that is decreasing the total. You can see the two split up around the end of April, it's pretty clear there. Conveniently around the time where they wrote about Botwatch here in the developer blog, and this was also around the time when they were discussing how to release rares into old school RS. I'm not sure if it plays a role, but who knows it does. And of course a few months of old school had already passed by, so a lot of people that jumped in on the hype in the beginning got bored of it, and I think it'll mostly become, like people predicted from the beginning, a server mainly based around old school PKing, which is fine, and I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy this or have already been enjoying it. Now let's have a look at 07 Tracker to get some data to back all of this up. All the data they have is between February 22nd this year and August 28th, which is today. Now you can see that the blue line represents the amount of players on 07, the black line is RS3, and the green line is the total count. Now, their system is pretty much the same as the one we have on Merge. It's called High Stocks, I believe, for anyone interested. Now, if we go look at some historical data here, let's have a look at Sunday, March 3rd, at the peak time on 07 and on RS3, each 65k players online. Now, if you compare that to, let's say, April 14th, another Sunday here, 62.5k on RS3, which is almost the same, and 47.9k on 07, which is already significantly less. Now, you can pretty much look at any of the days here. The peaks are, of course, when there's most players online, and the lows are during the GMT mornings when there's least players online. And if we look at, let's say, May 14th here, no exceptional day compared to others. 27k players on 07 and 53.4k on RS3. You can already see it's quite a lot less on 07 here, but if we compare that to, let's say, yesterday, we still have 52.7k on RS3, which is almost the exact same months later, and on 2007 it's only 15.6k players. Now you can see how this is significantly less, how it's really a huge difference, and what the reason is behind the total amount of players online dropping so much. It's not RS3, it's 07. Now honestly, this data speaks for itself. On the other hand, if we would look at stuff like the total amount of XP gained compared to months ago, or the volume of items that were traded over the Grand Exchange, then yes, this is definitely a lot less than before. But the amount of real players getting online has actually increased. Consider all the bots that have been getting banned for the past months, especially lately. The player count is, as you can see, still the same as before, and this means that those bots that were banned got replaced by real players. Now in my eyes, update-wise, Jagex is doing absolutely amazing this year, and it's just people never being satisfied and enjoying the bashing. It is more of a form of protest at the moment to complain and not to play, while still getting online daily. Now on top of that, for everything in this world, the people with the bad experiences will always be the ones who yell it out over the internet. Those who are happy are much less likely to share it with the rest, that's just how it is. Now, people always want changes and improvements until they are there, and then they usually complain about them. Everyone is laying low waiting for some magical changes to happen, I suppose. And that attitude is what could hurt RS in the long run more than any other update, I think. Now, before you think I'm all pro Jagex and there's nothing bad about them, I will completely agree with you that they've made countless mistakes in the past, and I'm sure they will continue to make some. But they're also doing a lot of good now, and it's about time that people acknowledge that, regardless of if you want to keep playing this game or not. Now, if you want to say that as an argument, my friends have all been quitting, then I ask you, have you taken the time to meet the new people who join? Probably not, because they get cult names which basically come down to the fact that they're new to the game and they don't know what it was like back then, but we're just not helping the problem altogether by not being accepting towards new players. Now, if you want to be realistic about it, then realize that a lot of people who played this game since they were like 12 have moved on or are moving on to university or jobs, and they simply won't have the time or the motivation for RS anymore. It's just not a priority in their life. Now, I'd say all of this is something to think about next time you see people bitching about the game dying. Please leave a comment below if you have something to say on the matter, and have a great day, guys.